Go, 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 go.
It's up there! It's up there!
It's coming right for me.
We just shut the door and prayed.
I'm actually in a car and I'm looking at a tornado right now.
It's a big boom, and she ran for cover.
This is Climate Matters, a 7 First Alert severe weather special.
Hurricanes, floods, tornadoes, droughts. Our planet Earth turning every 24 hours, and with each new day, new weather patterns.
And at times, those new weather patterns can be devastating.
Doesn't feel real. But your news helped because the reporting was right on.
And then there are the patterns that trigger conversations of climate change.
And there's general agreement that temperatures will warm. They're going to warm fairly dramatically for our grandchildren.
Over the last few decades, discussions about climate change have been contentious. But this show is not about politics, economics, or social policy. It is about how climate change could affect severe weather right here in Southeast Michigan.
Are the trends of the past over? What can we expect in the years to come? Severe weather here in Michigan touches us all in one way or another. The next half hour ahead, we're going to give you the tools and information that you need to stay safe. It's what you'd expect from a 7 First Alert weather special. But we're also going to take a unique look at how change in our climate may affect the severe weather we have to deal with here in Southeast Michigan. You know that climate change is a very hot topic, pun intended. Because of that, there's been more and more research and modeling looking into a cause and effect relationship between climate change and severe weather.
First, we'll look to establish if the climate is actually warming on a global scale and here in the United States as well. Then, if it is, we'll look at the possible changes that warming could have on our severe weather patterns, frequency, and intensity.
We want to get to the core of those possible changes without discussing the causes of any climate change. This is not a social, political, or economic discussion about climate change.
We do want to invite you to tweet us and share your comments about Michigan's severe weather and how climate matters during the show. Let us know what you think about this possible connection. We'll put some of your tweets up live as we go. We will also be hosting a live web chat on WXYZ.com following the 7 First Alert weather special for 1 hour, answering your questions and listening to your ideas.
So before we get started, let me just do a little brief explanation here of the difference between weather and climate. Now, weather is the short-term changes in the activity of the atmosphere, emphasis on the short term. It happens on a scale of minutes to hours to perhaps as long as a week. On the other hand, climate is the trend of weather over a much longer period of time, many months, decades, and centuries. So a cold week in the summer or Superstorm Sandy, they're weather events. But a temperature trend over decades is climate. So with that in mind, let's look at the climate and see if it's warming on a global scale first. The vast majority of the world's scientists, the vast majority, will tell you that the Earth's atmosphere is in a warming phase, regardless of the cause. All 3 major global surface temperature studies show that the Earth has warmed since about 1880, with the most warming occurring over just the last 40 years. Most scientists also think that the trend will continue.
Now, there are multiple climate models out there from all kinds of groups of every political persuasion. None of those climate models predict lower temperatures. None of them predict temperatures are going to stay the same.
Take a look at the evidence the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, has discovered. The average global temperature has increased 1.4 degrees over the last century. Now, I know that doesn't seem like a big change, but over the entire globe, that is a huge effect. And the decade, 2000 to 2010, was the warmest on record. And the year 2010, tied with 2005, is the warmest year on record on a global scale.
So, what about climate changes here in the United States? The evidence strongly shows the same trend as the rest of the world. You can see that since the late 19th century, there is a very clear upward increase in temperatures across the United States. Now, this is an important conclusion because it shows that America's climate is following the same trend as the world's climate. NASA also reports that since 1950, the number of record highs in the United States has been increasing, while the number of record lows has been decreasing. So, if we start with the assumption of a warming climate, especially the climate close to home, then the question is, could that warming climate change our severe weather season?
We will look into that question when we come back.
Plus, a look back at the Dexter tornado from 1 year ago and how climate affects our weather here in southeast Michigan.
Any weather group worth their salt's got the own usual gear. And here at 7 First Alert, we've got a lot of high-tech equipment, big-time technology to make sure that you stay safe during storm season. But the most convenient way to stay safe when severe weather strikes everywhere all the time, it's the Storm Shield app. It's like having our 7 First Alert weather team in the palm of your hand. We'll tell you how you can get it for your mobile device.
I didn't sleep last night, of course. I've been up all night, and I woke up realizing that I shouldn't even be here.
The devastation incredible. It was just 1 year ago when that massive tornado paid an unwelcome visit to the city of Dexter. It was March 15, 2012. The EF3 tornado ripped through Dexter with 140-mile-per-hour winds. 4 homes were destroyed, with over 200 homes and businesses damaged. Despite the extensive damage, no one was killed or injured. It was the worst tornado to touch down in the metro Detroit area since the F4 West Bloomfield tornado, March 20th, 1976. The Dexter tornado was one of 4 tornadoes in the month of March last year, an unusually early start to our tornado season. And just 1 year later, take a look at what tornado-ravaged Dexter looks like today. The cleanup was nonstop, with damages for the entire area totaling $12 million. Victims of the tornado are still putting their lives back together. While most of the homes are repaired or rebuilt, it has not been an easy year.
It's a long haul. It's a lot of work. Over a year, it's a lot of stress. But through those organizations, through St. Joseph Church, Faith in Action, Poured Out Organization, they don't leave. They're there. They're always there.
As we look to the future with the warming climate, will stronger tornadoes like this be more common?
Yes, that is a very good question. Let's look at the possible effects of a warming atmosphere on our severe weather season. Along with looking at the possible increase in strength of storms, we need to look at the timing of the season as well. Will it be longer? Will it start earlier? Will it end later? And during severe weather season, will there be more storms overall or fewer storms? Let's start with the length of the season. Normally, the peak of tornado weather for us is late May and into June. But with warmer atmosphere and more energy, that peak actually could start earlier and last longer. The same is true for our entire severe weather season during the spring and the summer. One example of this idea is last year's tornado in Dexter. You know it happened in March very early. There are actually 3 other tornadoes at that same time. That many tornadoes that early is extraordinary for southeast Michigan. Many of the climate models suggest that we will need to actually be ready for storms to start earlier in the year, and the storm season could extend into the fall. If the season is longer, does it automatically mean that we're going to have more frequent storms, Keenan?
Well, Dave, it has a lot to do with the jet stream and its powerful role in guiding storms. Now, most climatologists agree that a warming atmosphere will alter the jet stream from moving primarily across the country, west to east, to a more amplified north to south pattern. And that active pattern helps storms develop. But this setup is also slower to change, so you could get longer periods of storms, and you can get longer periods between storms. That means droughts could be just as big a problem as the storms themselves.
What that means is we're going to have storms which are more intense and longer periods between storms. So we can get the deluge and then the drought. And that seems to be a pattern we're already seeing. So we can't say it's due to climate change yet, but we can say it's consistent with what the climate models are predicting.
So if we expect longer periods of storms, the question is, will they be stronger as well? Chris?
Well, Keenan, the most likely answer to that is yes. They certainly could be stronger as well. The extra energy from more heat and moisture is more likely to get the storm started and act as a feedback mechanism to make them more intense. The stronger jet stream that Keenan just talked about would also help maximize the intensity potential. More intense storms could mean more damage because of higher wind speeds of tornadoes and thunderstorm winds, more lightning, and larger hail.
And I don't think we have a good, strong answer for that. But again, there is some evidence that the storm tracks are becoming stronger.
With all of these ideas about the possible changes in our severe weather season, there are no concrete answers yet, but the probabilities of having more intense storms certainly make sense.
Coming up on the 7 First Alert Severe Weather Special, you need to be ready for every single storm, regardless of its intensity. Do you know how to keep you and your family safe? Coming up, we'll not only show you how to keep safe, but also the greatest weather threat here in southeastern Michigan.
You hear the siren, a warning that severe weather is on the way. What do you do? Well, it's that siren that just could save your life. Now, we pretty much know what to do to protect our families. But what if your children aren't at home and severe weather is on the way?
As parents, our overwhelming drive is to protect our children. But even our kids lead busy lives these days. School, sports, after-school activities, sleepovers, and playdates. Our kids are spending more time away from home. So it's important that even children know what to do when sirens sound and the sky grows dark. So what should your child do if they're at the playground and a tornado siren sounds or they see lightning?
Run to your mom as fast as you can.
This is Grayson, my 5-year-old, and he has it right. When storms approach, getting inside quickly is important. If you see lightning, you're in range to be struck. Get inside a home or large building as quickly as you can. If none are available, get inside a hard-topped car. If you're in water, get out fast. If you can't get inside, get away from anything tall, trees, flagpoles.
Make yourself as small as possible and put your head low.
If you're inside, stay away from sinks and showers. Water can conduct the lightning bolt's charge straight to you. The same with corded phones and electrical appliances. The wires conduct electricity. Grayson loves looking out the window at the wind and the rain. Good idea? Little brother Clark is right. During storms, especially severe ones, flying objects could shatter the window and send glass flying. When tornado sirens sound and a warning is issued, time is precious. Get inside and get to the lowest level of your home, a basement or first floor. Get under a workbench or stairs. No basement? Small rooms are a good option. Bathrooms and closet if no basement is available. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you're in a trailer or mobile home, find a sturdier building. If you're in a car, pull over and find sturdy shelter. Tornadoes occur in every state, and although April, May, and June are the busiest time, twisters can occur any month, anywhere.
So you always have to be ready.
So what do you do when there's lightning, wind, and hail? Let's go over the safety tips. Now, do not use water inside your home, and you don't want to use any of those appliances either. Stay away from windows, and be sure to wait at least 20 minutes from the last lightning strike before resuming normal activities inside and out. Now, in the case of a tornado, seek shelter fast. Go to the basement or the lowest level of your home. The best interior room you have is probably a bathroom. You want to get in the tub. And, of course, make sure your shelter is sturdy.
And at the slightest hint of severe weather, you can count on us, your 7 First Alert weather team, to bring you immediate coverage. But do you know the difference between a severe weather watch versus a severe weather warning? A severe weather watch means conditions are favorable for the possibility of severe weather over the next several hours, but there is no immediate threat. Now, a severe warning means that dangerous weather is in your area or imminent, and you should take cover immediately.
So what do you think is the greatest threat for us here in Michigan? Tornadoes. Well, could be. We get about 8 or 9 of those every year around here. Severe thunderstorms that bring those pounding winds and rain. Yeah, that's a good choice too. Or is it lightning strikes and flooding? All dangers, but the greatest threat, those high thunderstorm winds. Why? Severe thunderstorms are much more widespread and pack a huge punch of wind at times and are much more frequent than tornadoes. That's the key, the frequency. While lightning strikes are dangerous for sure, they hit isolated areas, but a single gust of strong wind can blast large areas all at once.
Coming up, how you can help us when severe weather hits. Plus, the app and digital platforms that we have as part of our commitment to keep you safe no matter where you are.
Any weather group has got the usual tools to make sure that you stay safe as severe weather approaches. Of course, we've got it all right here as well. Hygrometers measuring the humidity, anemometers, weather vanes, barometers measuring the pressure. We've got it all, including rain gauges, to make sure that you stay safe. But above and beyond that, we've got some very special high-tech equipment to make sure that you don't have to worry during storm season here in southeast Michigan. That also includes the 7 First Alert Storm Shield app.
Our team's forecasting experience is number one. We have over 85 years of forecasting experience, and nearly 40 of that is right here in southeastern Michigan. The tools we have put that experience to work and are second to none. Our number one goal is to keep you safe, and that means using Viper radar. We're the only ones who have it. Early storm rotation indicators that can show you if the storms are starting to rotate before a tornado is formed. And the new FAST storm forecast. FAST will not only tell you which threat is greatest in a storm, but how strong every threat is in that storm. FAST was new last year. This year, we have the new strike zone and hail zone that will give you a 30-minute forecast of where lightning and hail are most likely to occur. They can even forecast when the lightning and hail will start in a storm. With the new dual pole radar, we'll be able to show you exactly where a tornado is hitting with that tornado debris ball signature on radar. With all that expertise, why not have it with you all the time?
No matter where you are or what you're doing, you can always stay connected to us and get the information that you need to stay safe when severe weather threatens. WXYZ.com/weather gives you your full forecast all the time, and it will alert you during storms. You can also follow us on Facebook.com/WXYZ-Detroit. On Twitter, you can use the 7 First Alert hashtag to share your photos and reports with our weather team. And if you're not already following Channel 7 on Twitter, you should. Follow us at WXYZ-Detroit. But when you can't get connected with us, we can get connected with you.
That's right, Dave. And you do that by using a Storm Shield app. It's a life-saving app that actually acts like a NOAA emergency weather radio on your iPhone or Android device. You receive critical alerts through voice and push notifications during severe weather events. It will wake you up in the middle of the night. And because it's on your smartphone, it will alert you even during a power outage. The Storm Shield will watch 5 locations so you can keep you and your family safe. And when there is severe weather and you're taking cover during a storm, Storm Shield will keep you connected to the 7 First Alert weather team with live video. Storm Shield is available for your iPhone and Android. The cost is usually $4.99, but for today and tomorrow only, it's on sale for just $2.99. That's a one-time cost for what could be a real lifesaver. And to get Storm Shield, just go to WXYZ.com/mobile for instructions on how to get it on your smartphone.
Another great way to get more information out is through you. Your video and photos help our 7 First Alert team see exactly what is going on. From neighborhood to neighborhood, torrential rain, hail, wind damage, we want to see it all at hashtag 7 First Alert. You can also send your pictures and video to us at WXYZ.com.
So hopefully now you have a great idea of what Michigan weather can throw at you, how to stay safe, and how our severe weather season may actually be changing in the very near future. Some of those changes may have already begun.
The overwhelming evidence is that the world's climate, and ours here in the U.S., is changing. It is warmer. Even though the relative numbers may seem small, the effects could be very large.
The direct effects on our severe weather season are not perfectly clear, but from this point forward, our severe storm seasons may lengthen, starting earlier and ending later.
And we should expect longer stormy periods of greater intensity, but we may end up with greater droughts as well as the storm pattern slows down and becomes more intense. That pattern could lead to greater threats to our safety and property.
Much of the information presented here was provided by organizations like NASA and NOAA and their counterparts around the world. We've also tapped into private academic and research institutions. Thank you for joining us. Climate Matters, a 7 First Alert weather special. And don't forget to join us right now on WXYZ.com for a live web chat about the show.